Good morning, and welcome back to Deep Waves Transformation. Today's guest is someone who works deeply with energy, spirit, and the unseen realms to bring healing, clarity, and peace into our space and lives. Please welcome Sam Ritchie, a certified angel guide trained by Kyle Gray and listed on his official website. Sam offers intuitive oracle card readings, past life regressions, and specializes in the powerful practice of space clearing, removing negative energies and entities from homes, businesses, and sacred spaces, both in person and remotely using floor plans. Her work goes beyond traditional energy healing. She clears the energetic echoes that linger in environments, helping clients reclaim their peace and restore harmony to the places they live and work. Sam is also the author of the book Echoes Within Walls, which dives into the mysterious and magical experiences she's encountered while clearing energy and connecting with spirit. Sam, I'm so excited to have you here. Welcome to the show. How are you?
Thanks for having me. I'm good.
Good. Well, Sam, take us back to the beginning. What first led you to work with energy and spirit and the unseen realms?
Okay, so I was always a child that could see things that others couldn't see. In fact, most of my childhood I lived with the spirits rather than people. People terrified me. I'd hide if
Uh-huh.
the doorbell went. I was much
Right.
happier living in the spirit world until I was, I guess, about 12. And I decided that being scared was not how I was going to live my life. So since that point, I've been pushing myself to get out there to the point where I've written a book and now I'm talking to you.
Oh, that's so cool. How did you come across Kyle Gray and become a certified angel guide?
So that happened in 2020. My aunt had met him. My aunt is an intuitive coach, and she'd met him at an event and she recommended his books and his cards to me. And then in 2020, I was working in kitchens of a bar and lockdown happened. So all the bars in Spain where I live were shut. So my kids were older. The youngest was just finishing senior school. And so I suddenly had time to delve a bit deeper into my spirituality. So I took that time to study with Kyle Gray, and then I haven't really stopped really to the point I'm the only person listed in Spain who's completed all of his courses.
Right. That's amazing. What did that training unlock for you?
It gave me the confidence that what I actually knew was right, because you have to do exams and things as well. So you read for people that you don't know. You're just told this person and read some cards for them. What would this mean for this person? And then you're graded on it. So it gave me the confidence to know that what I was saying was correct and that my intuition was actually correct and that my spirit guides were actually not just my imagination. And during that time, as we know, it was really stressful for a lot of people. So I went online and I just decided that I was going to practice, and I was totally overwhelmed by the amount of people who wanted oracle card readings. Um, so I did hundreds, some of them just from a name, and I would video it and send them. And that's really cool because, yeah, it came from Facebook, but I never looked at their profiles because that to me is cheating. So I just had their
Yeah.
name. That was it. Right.
Yeah.
And the response was mind blowing. I was like, okay, I can do this then. And
Wow.
yeah, so it
What
was really
around
cool.
what age did you start to really tap into that intuition, wanting to do this profession?
So in my early 40s. So
Awesome.
it literally 2020 was when I started to think, hang on, perhaps I should be using what I've got as a business. I've always space cleared since, well, I was an estate agent, and without knowing it, I was changing the energy. I was always able to sell the properties that no one else could sell, but I didn't know why or what I was doing. And then we moved with two very young children, and I knew there was no spirits lingering in this house, but the energy was heavy, not helped by one of the bedrooms being painted black, ceiling and all. Wasn't helpful. But it just felt heavy. And I met someone and I said to her, I know there's nothing here, but it just doesn't feel right. And she said, oh, you want a space clear? And I'd never heard of it. The internet wasn't like it is now, where you can just Google what is space clearing. So I set about just clapping and with a joss stick going around my whole house. And I saw a lot of the history of the property. So when I next saw my friend, I said to her, and I saw this and I saw that. She's like, you do realize most people don't see this when they space clear. They just feel better. The energy feels better. They don't see the
Yeah, they
history.
feel a lot lighter, huh? Yeah.
Yeah. But I was seeing all the history as well. And I just obviously knew nothing about it. I thought it was normal. So
I feel
since
like I
then,
have a little bit of common ground with you there because I did the exact same thing right when I hit 40 as well. So yeah, I can
uh,
relate to that. It's what do you think it is about turning 40 that just
I
wants us
think
to
it
shift our life?
was. Yeah, I think it was the fact that I was forced to slow down, which I don't tend to do. I tend to be 100 miles an hour, right? So
Right.
the fact, and I'm working in kitchens, is long hours and it's hard work. It doesn't leave much time or headspace for anything else. And also two kids, you know, it was
Right.
just at that point they weren't as needy as obviously young children are. Right?
Yeah, I agree with you. My daughter is 18 and my son is 21. So yeah, I agree with you. I actually have time to do
Yeah,
this. They're off living their own lives and it's beautiful.
yeah, yeah. It's great because it's like we get a second life.
It really does feel like that. It really does. Was there a moment that you realized you were meant to do space clearing professionally, and what did that shift feel like?
Yeah. So as I said, I'd always been space clearing our homes, and we've lived in a lot. Um, and when people started to offer to pay me to do card readings, I was like,
Oh,
oh,
that's cool.
business here.
Yeah,
I
light bulb went off. You're like,
Yeah. Mm, perhaps I could feed myself and my family with this. Um,
yeah,
I created a website and I put space clearing on it, thinking it's only going to be people that are close by to me in rural Spain, spiritually minded, or have a massive problem with their property. And so I just sort of thought it would be a small part of my work. And then probably 3 years ago, a friend of mine whose house I'd space cleared, their holiday home I'd space cleared 10 years ago, said, I've got this huge problem. I've got these tenants in a property. They won't give me access. Um, and it needs essential maintenance work. Can you space clear from a floor plan and an address? And I
wow.
told her honestly, I have no clue. I have no clue whether I can, but I'll give it a go.
Yeah, why not? You got to start somewhere. Yeah,
Exactly. So I started I just was like, okay, I'm going to trust you're going to tell me how to do this. And so I started redrawing the plans she sent me, and all this information started dropping in, like her grandparents' names, the beautiful family party, the spirit stuck on the stairs. All of this started dropping in. I was like, okay, I can do this. What was even better, within 24 hours, the tenants had given her access and the work had been scheduled. I was like, yeah, okay, cool. I could do this.
wow.
And that was really the turning point because it changed everything.
Sure.
Now I'm not limited by location at all. I space clear properties in England frequently. I work with an estate agent there, all over Spain, Spanish islands. I've got one in Belgium. to do tomorrow. That's the first one in Belgium. And so it's like anywhere, nowhere is off limits.
Wow. That's incredible. Good for you. So, for those who have never heard of space clearing, how would you describe it in simple terms?
It's removing of negative energy and entities. So if you think of it as a house is a piece of clay, and the biggest handprint in that clay leaves the biggest mark, right? So anything traumatic leaves a bigger handprint than the positive stuff. If you
Yeah.
think of it, if you think back to a time when you've walked into somewhere and you just felt really uncomfortable, and it can be the
Right.
most beautiful place, right? But you just don't
Right.
like it. You don't feel comfortable. And then on the other side, you walk into somewhere and it may not be the cleanest and the tidiest, but you just feel at home.
Yeah.
Those are the times we're picking up on the energy.
Right. Exactly.
But
What
what
are
this, sorry.
Yeah. What are some of the most common signs that a space needs cleansing and clearing?
Uh, Animals not wanting to go into areas in the house, odd smells that come and go, things moving, property stuck on the market with no reason. So I work with estate agents frequently for the houses that are stuck on the market. They're priced right, they're in a good location. There's no earthly reason why they're not moving. They're just not. And quite often that can be energetic. But if you think, I've also worked with people that have had trouble sleeping. One lady even lost weight after I space cleared. I'm not saying that you will lose weight if I space clear your house, but the house was so heavy, it was physically weighing her down. And she dieted, she tried everything under the sun. And one of the positive side effects of me space clearing our house was without changing her diet, the weight fell off.
Wow.
So the
That's
energy in our
powerful.
house, yeah, the energy in our homes really can be have a huge impact on us. I also work with business owners. I work with a hotel because obviously when you have a hotel, you're getting lots of people's energy in all the time, and some may be
Mhm.
good and some won't be good. So we space clear that regularly. I work with a businessman every month because he's got a big industrial plant which has got hundreds of employees. So to keep the energy and the business going the way he wants it, we work together every month.
Yeah. I always tell people, if you're stuck in a toxic home or environment, how do you feel when you leave and get in your car and drive away? Do you feel lighter? And then what happens when you return back to that home? You're tense, you're tight, you're just shaking with terror inside. I don't want to go back to this place. But how do you feel when you really leave that environment and they're like, yeah, I agree with you. I never even thought of it that way. I'm like, yeah,
Yeah.
you just feel light. It's
Yeah,
incredible.
I did have one couple which the energy of the house was really dark. I did it in person. And it was really dark and it shouldn't have been dark because of the amount of windows and stuff. But
Yeah.
it was physically looked dark. But they came to me because the woman, the homeowner, um, was dreading going home every day. They'd had so many problems, the electric, the internet, the water, everything had gone wrong in a very short space of time. And she dreaded going home. And they were considering moving. And this property had the most stunning views. It was a lovely property, but the
Right.
energy of it was so draining. And these
Yeah.
were people who were very skeptical. They I met them at another event and we got talking, but they were really skeptical. And afterwards, they're like, "Why did it take us so long to have you round?"
I
So,
know, right? It's crazy. So
yeah,
I grew up in California and Utah, and most of my time since I was about 16 years old has been spent in Utah. That's been pretty much my home. But now everything that I've gone through in my life, just alone in that state, I now feel like it's become the epicenter of my trauma.
right.
So, which really made me want to take a vacation and go somewhere else and see like what the vibe's all about somewhere new. So I took a trip to Florida and I fell in love with it and I ended up landing here last December. So Florida is now my permanent home and it's just the energy, the lightness. I can't even tell you, like my friends, my family, they've all noticed my energy shift, how much I'm happier and yeah, it really is the location, so I get what you mean on that.
It's
Yeah.
huge.
Very huge. Can you walk us through what happens during a typical space clearing session, what it looks like?
Yeah. So I always start off by calling the angels in because I work with the angels closely. So I ask them to come and well, actually, that's not the first thing I do. First thing I do is protect my energy, right? So, and anyone can space clear their own home, but protect your energy first. And on my website and on my YouTube, there's a free meditation to protect your energy because you do not want to be doing this if you are not in a protective bubble, right?
Right,
Because you
which
don't,
I will
you,
post at the end of this podcast so everybody knows where to find her.
yeah. And quite a lot of people have their own ritual of putting themselves in a bubble of protection or an armor of protection. Whatever you use is fine, doesn't matter. Just do something, right? Um,
Right.
and then I ask the angels to reveal to me what I need to know. So this has moved on a lot from the first time I did it and I had no clue what I was doing. So now I call in the angels. I actually physically call them in. And then if I'm working from a floor plan, I draw the plan out. If I'm working in person, it's similar. If I work in person, I go around, I set up an altar. I call it an altar. It's just I put my stuff in a place. So
Yeah.
I have candles, I have a joss stick going, I have crystals because you can't have enough crystals. And they're all programmed to help me clear the energy of the property. And then I start by clapping. And everyone should try this, right? If you go around your room, clap, but listen, really listen, because you can hear the energy change,
Wow.
right?
Okay.
And anyone can do that. You can hear the energy change. So try that, right? And
Okay, will
then,
do. Thank you.
and then I go around with Palo Santo and sage, using the smoke to clear the energy. And the places you can't get with your clapping or your sage, use your intention to throw it to the corners of the ceilings, because that is one of the areas that A, you can't get to, and B, a lot of energy gets stuck. So you want to use your intention to push the smoke up there or the sound up there.
Okay.
And then I use bells and I go round with bells because the sound changes it. And I use a singing bowl as well. I sometimes use a thunder drum because it's fun. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
but
Yeah.
if you haven't got any of that, it doesn't matter. You can do it very rudimentary with um, just your hands and a joss stick, and you will still notice a difference.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you so much for that.
But don't do it if you've got mental health issues or if you're scared.
True. Very, very, very true. So your book, Echoes Within Walls,
Yes, I
tell
have
us
one
about
here.
that. What's some of the most memorable yes.
Yeah.
What's some of the most memorable or surprising experiences you've had while doing this work and putting your book together? It's beautiful.
Okay, so I was telling you about the people that were skeptical and their house was dark. Well, the reason was they had a caveman in their house.
A
Well,
caveman.
yeah, which I've never come across before or since actually. And I was like, whoa, this is really odd. So as I went around the house, it turns out there still is the cave below the house, which I didn't know.
Oh,
And it was my guides have sense of humor because they're like, he hasn't got any language, but he's basically saying he likes not having to hunt anymore. But he's
oh,
really cross because there's people here and he never liked people. And it's like now they've built a house and no one had this. It's a really gorgeous house. And it'd been a holiday home for 30 years. No one had lived in it properly until these
Right.
people, because it just didn't feel right. So he was quite a standout. And then there was, oh yeah, I didn't think demons existed. I do now. I was asked, yeah, I was asked to do a space clearing of a property in Mallorca. And as I drew it, it was like there was a hole, a vortex of this demonic energy. And I was like, no, there's no demons. Everyone's good. Demons don't exist. There's nothing like that. Okay, now I know different.
Right.
It
At
was
what age did you
really,
sort of start feeling that first demonic creature into your life?
well, that was when I was space clearing. So this
Okay.
is only the last couple of years. I was
Okay.
like, the demons do not exist until that point. And then now I really know they do, right? And that people had conjured them up, if you like. This whole property was filled. I'm not sure whether they're actually physically visible, but they were filled with occult symbols. Um, and yeah, it was heavy. I had to stop and go away from it and come back. But now I've put a lid on it and they can't get out, so it's fine. But yeah, that was a shock
I bet.
because
Oh
because
my
it
gosh.
well it shook my beliefs apart from anything else,
Right.
right? And so it's
Yeah.
like, okay, I can't deny this anymore. I've got to just go with it, go with what I'm given and trust.
Exactly. And it's what you're good at. You've practiced this for several years now. It's just what you're good at. It's what you're meant to do. It was your calling.
It definitely was, but life probably would have been simpler if I'd realized that when I was in my 20s.
Yeah. When we're young and dumb and don't know anything.
Yeah. Instead of, working my fingers to the bones in kitchens and things.
Yeah. So then that leads me to my next question is what do you say to skeptics who don't believe in energy and spiritual imprints and all that
Uh,
stuff?
that's absolutely fine. Everyone's entitled to their own opinion and they're entitled to be skeptical. Why wouldn't you be? But everyone, whether you're skeptical or not, has had that feeling where they don't want to be somewhere. And we even say, if you walk into a room where someone's had a argument, we say you can cut the atmosphere with a knife. So,
Yeah.
everyone can relate to those things.
I think it's just they don't want to admit to themselves, oh, I might be spiritual.
It's fine. And I work with a lot of people that say, I am not spiritual, but
I know.
can you just do a reading for me? Or can you just space clear my house? But I'm not spiritual.
Yeah,
All right.
exactly. Yeah.
That's totally fine.
Yeah.
Whatever you want to believe in, for me, it's totally fine. I know what my truth is. And I'm okay for
Right.
you having your own truth and your own reality. It doesn't mean that we can't be friends, right? We're
Right.
grown
Yeah.
ups. We're grown ups. If you're skeptical, good. Ask me
Exactly.
questions. What do you want to know?
Yeah. It's okay. We can't change everybody's minds, but we hope and pray that one day they could really tap into their intuition to start feeling things because what's happening is they're just so closed off, and I believe it really stems from the heart chakra. Like it's protected, it's closed. I don't want to let anything in, but as soon as we learn to release that heart chakra, oh my gosh, the amount of blessings, I swear it's unreal.
But also we're programmed that
Right.
it's you have to think a certain way, you have to do certain things, right? We are really indoctrinated by our parents, by our teachers, by the media. This is how it's got to be. But no,
Like,
actually it doesn't. If you stand in your own power, in your own truth, with respect for everyone else, then wouldn't the world be a better place?
yeah, exactly. You would think so, huh?
Yeah. but we're taught that, you know, you've got to be right and everyone else is wrong. But that's not the case. We can
Right.
all be right. We can all have our own truth and stand
Right.
in
And that's
our
what I
own
try to
power
teach
with
a lot
that.
of people too, is just to make up their own minds.
Yeah,
Why are you believing anybody? Just make up your own mind. It's been dictated. Your thoughts in your life have been dictated by environmental factors, your family life, your friends' life. It's all just been dictated. Oh, you should do this. You should be this. You should say this. You should wear this. No,
yeah,
become
and it's
you. Do what you want to do.
yeah, yeah, and it does take time. It's hard, you know.
Oh, yeah.
You, it's hard to go. No, I don't agree with you, or
Yeah.
that's not my reality. You can have your reality, but this is mine.
It just takes a lot of rewiring that subconscious brain.
Yeah.
It's all really what it is.
Yeah. And if you're skeptical, look at my Facebook page. I do free Oracle card party every 2 weeks, where you can just come in, tell me you're there, and I'll pull a card for you.
Oh,
Skeptical,
that's cool.
yeah, come and join me. You know, I'll pull a
That's
card for
awesome.
you.
I will.
I'll pull a
I
card for
actually
you, and then
just
you can
went to
see.
a sound bath yesterday
Oh,
or
how
2 days ago.
cool!
Oh my gosh, I love my sound baths.
Yeah, amazing.
It's a ritual that I practice every week.
Yeah, don't blame
That's
me.
what I mean by self-care. When people are like, "Well, what is self-care? Is that manis and petties and getting your hair done and facials?" I'm like, no.
Yeah, and see, for me, mine is journaling every day, pulling an oracle
Journaling.
every day,
Uh-huh.
um, yoga every day.
Yeah.
That's my self-care. That's before I do anything.
Yep, that's what it
That's
looks like. That's what it feels like. That's what it should be.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And just
So it
quieting down the mind because, as I said, I go 100 miles an hour. So when I get up in the morning, my mind's like, so just
Yeah,
like, okay, bring
because
it
life
back
has taught
down.
us to go so fast. Go, go, go,
Yeah,
go, 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 go. It's like,
yeah,
yeah, it is go, 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 but you should also allow yourself at least an hour every single week to do some sort of self-care,
yeah.
whether it's a
And
sound
just to
bath or
breathe.
a reading or any of that, somatic
Yeah, or
therapy,
it just
whatever.
walking on the beach or walking in nature with
Exactly. Get
no other
grounded.
noise. Yeah,
Yep. Ground and
yeah,
connect, realign with yourself once a week.
yeah,
Love yourself, and that's how you can do it.
yeah. I'm also starting an online circle because I hold space for two in-person circles and I've been
Uh-huh.
asked to take it online. So that'll be coming in July every fortnight as well.
Oh, that's wonderful.
So
So
yeah,
if you could clear, because I have a question, if you could clear and bless any space in the world, where would it be and why?
there's a property in Malaga, which I've driven past numerous times. We don't live anywhere near Malaga, by the way. Um, but this property is it literally sticks out of a mountain because they couldn't demolish it. They've tried to make it a hotel. It's huge, but no workers will stay in there. And I'd really like to get my hands on that one. It would be hard work. It, I would have to do it in bite size, but there's definitely you can literally see the um negative energy, the spirits from the motorway. It's like I
Wow.
really would love to get my hands on that one.
People afraid to go there?
No one to go there. Builders, tried to make it a hotel, and builders refused to work in there.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
So
Interesting.
yeah,
Well,
so that would be
what would it
really
take for you to
interesting.
get in there?
Have no idea. I don't even know who owns it. So
Okay. Let's call that in because I feel like they could definitely use you.
yeah, I would really like to be able to say, you know, that hotel you stayed in, you're able to stay in
Yeah.
it now because I cleared it.
Yeah.
But
That's awesome. I love
I'm sure
that.
there's hundreds of properties. every property that I've done is so unique, and it is such a privilege, just from the properties that the owner couldn't work in their office, so they're working in their front room because the energy was off. There was nothing particularly bad, but the energy was off.
Right.
To the properties that have been stuck on the market, that have been able to sell, and to the ones that have just been interested in what had come up. And I've had some beautiful, it's like, I really like this. I'm just going to stay here and enjoy this family
Oh,
party. That was the imprint, the major imprint was a family party. And it's just like, okay, I'm just going to stay in this energy because it's really nice. So every property is a total privilege, whether there's anything, because sometimes I don't get any information or very little information, but that's fine too, because the results are
right.
still the same. Normally I do get information, but the odd occasion I don't. But the results are the same, so it's fine.
Right.
But it's just a privilege to be able to do it.
Right. What recommendations would you give to somebody who knows, I don't know where to start, but I'm interested? How can I become a part of this world kind of thing? How do we teach people to tap into their special gift? Because we're all born with one.
Yeah. Um, so you just need to start practicing trusting your intuition and look for signs as well, because the universe, our angels, God, the creator, whoever you want to call it, sends us signs as well. So start small, start by saying, thank you for reminding me of your presence, which is a Carl Gray quote. Thank you for reminding me of your presence. And then look out for number sequences, look out for random objects in random places. For example, we've got an apartment here, and one day our washing machine used to live in there. So I was taking the washing up, and there was a boot from a Monopoly board on the step of the apartment. Now, the Monopoly board, we have one, but it's upstairs in the house, locked away in the cupboard. It hadn't been out for probably a year.
Wow.
And yeah, they sent me this boot to say, we're here, we're still here. So watch for those signs, and the songs on a radio or the smell of a loved one's perfume. They're all just reminders that we're not on this physical planet on our own. We have helpers, we have people, we have loved ones in spirit helping us. We have spirit guides helping us. We have the angels helping us. And it's like building a muscle. And if you need help, ask. Say, thank you, angels, for helping me find a parking space. Start small.
Yeah.
Start small and build your muscle, build your confidence, build your belief system.
Yeah. I love that. Starts with grounding.
Yeah.
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 Wow. What a powerful and enlightening conversation with you. I love that. From the wisdom of the angels to the echoes hidden within our walls, Sam reminded us today that our environments carry stories, energies, and imprints, and that healing isn't just something we do within ourselves, but also within the spaces we inhabit. If this episode resonated with you, I encourage you to explore Sam's work further. Whether you're curious about clearing your home, uncovering past life threads, or receiving a message from your guides, her offerings are deeply rooted in compassion, clarity, and truth. And I firmly believe that within my heart of hearts. Thank you so much, Sam, for joining us today. It was a
Thank
pleasure.
you.
Thank you. Have a wonderful day, you guys. Stay tuned to our next episode of Deep Waves Transformation. Have a blessed day, everyone. For more information on where to find me, please visit deepwavescoaching.com and on my socials at Deep Waves Life Coaching. For more information on where to find Sam, please visit her at samangelguide.com and on her link tree at samangelguide. Don't forget to pick up a copy of her book titled Echoes Within Walls. Thanks for listening.